What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. I want to focus in on the first of all, happy Easter. I got to put that out there. We're going to focus in on the Dany Heatley situation in Minnesota. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but it's tough because I remember when Dany Heatley was a 50 goal scorer. Hashtag 1507, and just this amazing player between Atlanta and Ottawa, and his fall from grace has been tough to watch, and he's not that old, and I know he's been in Yo's doghouse pretty much since the beginning of last season, he's actually pretty well liked by his teammates from what I've heard. I know the coaching staff isn't happy with him, but he gets along well with the teammates. So I don't think he's a locker room cancer. That's what you want to call him. He's 33 years old, and their team was 43. He's a full decade older. But my issue with I think Minnesota and Dany Heatley is about 2 years ago, right after the Suter and Parise signings went down, they had an opportunity, and I don't know how much credence you give to this. I did a piece on it when I saw it. I don't remember where I saw it. I was somewhere on Twitter. But they were supposed to deal on the table, 1-for-1, Paul Martin for Dany Heatley, and I said that's a brilliant deal for both sides. Holy shit, Pittsburgh and Minnesota got to get this done. Well, it didn't get done. And the other thing is, I'm not saying Paul Martin would be a be-all, end-all for Minnesota, not by any means, but having him out there saves Suter minutes in the regular season. Ryan Suter shouldn't have been playing the amount of minutes he was. Having Martin out there kind of eats some of those minutes away and keeps Suter fresh for the playoffs. And the Minnesota defense is being beaten like a rag doll by the Colorado forwards. It's just pure speed. I think that's more. I said that in October, November with Suter. They gotta watch his minutes, and now you're looking at the defense, going, "Oh, well, they look like Swiss cheese." Yeah, pick me. Called that happening, and I think having Martin out there would have taken some of the pressure off Suter and allowed him to play at an effective level and a more effective level down the stretch. But that's neither here nor there. And then to Heatley, I know it's been an unmitigated effing disaster the last 2 years for him, but I really believe he would have had a career revival in Pittsburgh. I think playing with world-class players like Crosby, like Malkin, would have brought out the best in him. I'm not knocking the talent of Minnesota, but not by any means. But just there's no Sid or Gino in that team. You know what I mean? And having to be able to go out there and play with those guys, a guy like Heatley who's played with Spezza, played with Thornton, knows what it's like to play with an elite playmaker. I think it would have paid dividends for him, and I think his career could have been. I think he could go back to being what he was supposed to be, which was one of the great goal scorers in NHL history. He really should have scored 600 goals. He's got 360 now, or actually a little bit over that. I gotta pull up his stats in a minute, but that was his stats going into the year. I just really. I think he's obviously out of Minnesota. His contract's up at the end of the year. He's a healthy scratch in the playoffs. But I think he goes to Pittsburgh or LA on a tryout agreement. To be honest with you, I think two teams that are legitimate contenders and need scoring. You can help them in the scoring department, I should say. Obviously, Pittsburgh doesn't need too much scoring. They have one of the league's preeminent scorers, but they can. You can always get better. And I just think having two teams out there that can utilize him, effectively, would be a great thing for his career as it gets to the back nine in so many ways. But again, I've been a Dany Heatley fan since the days as a Wisconsin Badger, and to watch him in the press box in the playoffs is tough, especially when the team's down 0-2, and I'm not gonna say could use him, but he had a god awful regular season, and I hate to he has to take accountability. There's no one to blame for it but himself. And if he wants to continue playing hockey and continue, maybe getting to that 500 goals. I think he should stumble into 400, to be honest with you, if he plays a few more years. And he's got to take accountability. He's got to put himself. I think he'll have a killer off season. I think he'll be in great shape. Whatever team brings him to camp, I think he'll be in amazing shape going into the season. And he was minus 30 the last 2 years. And again, I know there's less emphasis on plus minus than ever before, but minus 30 is bad on a playoff team. I'm just pointing that out. But we'll see what happens with that, because again, he's one of my favorite players, and hopefully it was one of my favorite players. Hopefully he gets it back together, and we can see the Dany Heatley of old sooner rather than later. Anyway, that's all I got on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Dany Heatley's future in the short and long term. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.